my shiny friends and family. Today we're going to talk about the solar eclipse from 2017. It took place on August 21st, 2017. Did you view the solar eclipse that day? What were you doing and where were you at? Share in the comments below. This is my windowsill the day of the eclipse. I thought the reflections of the light was so neat. My viewing of the eclipse began on my morning walk. To the right you can see the handy guide to the total solar eclipse. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, causing the sun's light to be blocked. On Monday, August 21st, 2017, those living in the path stretching from Oregon to South Carolina experienced a total solar eclipse, meaning the moon briefly blocked the entire face of the sun. Everyone else in North America saw a partial eclipse. This is me here looking through the trees at the eclipse. It was said to have the proper eye protection, but I remember as I discussed it with a friend how when we were like in kindergarten, we at school looked through the trees at it. Looking directly at the sun unprotected is unsafe. The only safe way to view a partial eclipse sun is by using special purpose solar filtered glasses. But if you notice here, I don't have those glasses. I'm using a sheet of paper. That was something else that me and my friend talked about when we were in kindergarten. We either looked through the trees or through a piece of paper. So regardless of how we're looking at the sun, whether we're looking through trees or through a piece of paper or using the protective glasses, we are not to be looking directly at the sun or solar eclipse without eye protection. If you notice, in the last diagram that was just shown, they show looking through a camera was not the ideal way of protection either. So I just wanted to clarify that as I was looking through my camera, I really just had it set up. I wasn't watching it. I just set it up, used my piece of paper, just a time or two when I glanced up, and then I hit record. And so pretty much I'm freestyle filming here. Like I have no absolute clue if I'm even capturing anything. It's not until later when I go back to realize exactly what footage I have captured. Just like this. I'm going to show you an image here in the upper right and explain to you what I learned after I went back and reviewed. You see one arrow pointing, two arrows pointing, and that is the difference in the position of the sun. Don't be mistaken or confused as to what I'm trying to point out to you. Those clearly were the reflection off of my camera lens as I was filming. That was not the actual sun itself. I mean, it's obvious there in the upper kind of leftish area, that's where the sun actually is. And this is the reflection. The reflection ended up being my guide as I was viewing to see the actual path of the solar eclipse. Just like this chart here, you see the path of the eclipse throughout the process of the day for August 21st, 2017, and that is clearly like what the reflection was. The solar eclipse of August 21st, 2017 was known as the Great American Eclipse. And this was noted by the media. It was a total solar eclipse visible within a band that spanned the entire United States, passing from the Pacific to the Atlantic coast. As a partial eclipse, it was visible on land from North Canada to as far as South America. In northwestern Europe and Africa, it was partially visible in the late evening. In Asia, it was visible only at the eastern extremity. Prior to this event, no solar eclipse had been visible across the entire United States since June 8, 1918. Note, since the February 1979 eclipse, had a total eclipse been visible from anywhere in the mainland of the United States. The path of totally touched 14 states, and the rest of the U.S. had a partial eclipse. The area of the path of total was about 16% of the area of the United States, with most of the area over the ocean, not land. The event's shadow began to cover land on the Oregon coast as a partial eclipse at 4:05 p.m., with the total eclipse being there at 5:16 p.m. The total eclipse land coverage ended along the South Carolina coast at about 6:44 p.m. Visibility as partial eclipse in Honolulu, Hawaii began with sunrise at 4:20 p.m. and ended by 5:25 p.m. This total solar eclipse marked the first such as the smartphone and social media era in America. Information, personal communication, and photography was widely available as never before, capturing popular attention and enhancing the social experience. Marriage proposals took place coinciding with the eclipse, and at least one wedding was also planned. It took place to coincide with the eclipse. Logistical problems were experienced with the influx of visitors, especially for smaller communities. The sales of counterfeit eclipse glasses was also anticipated to be a hazard for eye injuries. Future total solar eclipse will cross the United States in April 2024 and will cover 12 states, and then August 2045 will cover 10 states. And an annular solar eclipse wherein the moon appears smaller than the sun will occur in October 2023 with 9 states, and in June 2048 with 9 states. And this information I read from Wikipedia, and it goes on to talk about the visibility. The total eclipse was a magnitude of 1.0306 and was visible within a narrow quarter 70 miles wide, crossing 14 of the states in the United States. A partial eclipse was seen for a greater time period beginning shortly after 9 a.m. At one location in Wyoming, a small group of astronomers used telescopic lenses to photograph the sun as it was in a partial eclipse. And so if you want to read further, you could go to the Wikipedia and see, because it has it broke down as a total eclipse viewing event, and it has it broke down from each state telling different things. Like in Nebraska, there was entertainment and educational seminar offered. One of the hospitals hosted an eclipse viewing event, including sharing safety tips for Lifetime Vision Center. Like in Missouri, there was a Creek Park that hosted a party on campus for the students of the University of Missouri. Georgia, the Stanford Stadium at the University of Georgia held a viewing. So that's kind of neat to see the different things that the different states did. And it also has a section talking about the counterfeit eclipse glasses. And it says, in the months leading up to the eclipse, many counterfeit glasses were put up for sale. Effective eclipse glasses must not only block most visible light, but most UV and infrared light as well. It said that has even a section about camera equipment damage, and it says that a company based in Tennessee reported that many of its customers returned cameras and lenses with extensive damage because it was damaging the camera's sensor. And this mostly happened whenever it was shot like in live mode, where the sensor was continuously exposed to the eclipse. My whole yard period, changed colors during the peak of the eclipse. It was like this weird, dull, somber tone. My Facebook status that day read, encourage someone today. Notice a job well done. Notice spiritual growth. Give a genuine compliment. Speak well. Build up. Your uplifting words can change someone's life. Change one's perspective of their own life. An encouraging word cheers a person up. Proverbs 12:25. Later that day, I attended my daughter's soccer game at 5:30, and you can notice how bright the sun still was. After me and my friend made the most funniest jokes about not having glasses, the next morning on my morning walk, I found a pair of glasses laying on the sidewalk. I laughed so hard to myself, I picked them up and kept them for the next solar eclipse. Also, the next morning was the book release of a book that I was on the book launch team called How to Lead When You're Not in Charge by Clay Scroggins. So my Facebook status read that night, going to bed, it said, keep those solar eclipse glasses. You will need them tomorrow for the release of Clay Scroggins' new book, How to Lead When You're Not in Charge, hence the bright cover. If you are part of an organization, large workforce, or any type of team, this is totally worth the investment of your leadership growth, even if you are an individual looking to grow as a leader. Clay's message in this book will brighten your heart. Have those glasses handy. Do you ever say, I'll wait until I'm in charge? They will not listen to me. What I think doesn't matter. This is for you. Hashtag this is for you. Hashtag how to lead. Hashtag we all have a seat at the table.